Hello from Chitex 2025 here in Marrakesh. I'm together with Rajveer Shah, Director at Mitsumi Distribution. Hello, nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you again. It's glad to have this conversation after another year.
True. The time is running fast.
Yeah.
It feels like yesterday.
Yes.
So, as Mitsumi continues to expand its footprint across the MEA region, so what core solutions or capabilities are you showcasing at Chitex this year?
See, at Jitex, we always aim to showcase the best industry standards in terms of vendors such as our, most strategic vendor, we call it, Dell or HPE, Lenovo. These are our major, infrastructures as well as PC clients vendors. And apart from that, we have a lot of new vendors in terms of software security. We just signed up with VMware that we're looking across the WECA region. In terms of other software security vendors, BlackBerry, that cover the whole region. We are always trying to expand our partner portfolio, vendor portfolio, and regions. This is what we're trying to focus. And in this year's agenda, the French Africa region in terms of Morocco is one of our top concerns.
Okay, that's good. So you're in the right place.
This is Morocco has been our management decision that we need to establish well in Morocco, and we've started well in the French Africa region, and this is something coming soon.
So exciting times ahead for that.
Exciting, yeah. Growth and expansion. This is what we're always looking towards.
That's good. So beyond product and service delivery, how is Mitsumi contributing to the broader goal of Africa's digital transformation process and the technology accessibility across the region?
So at Mitsumi, we have, in the AI department, we have a slogan, democratize AI.
Yeah.
I'll explain how that works. We have a solution that looks at each use case by use case.
Yeah.
So in terms of, let's say you are an end customer that are looking at investing into AI technology to have, let's say, improve your productiveness or improve your customer experience.
Yeah.
We have this specified AI team that goes to the end customer, discusses their use cases, analyzes them, and provides them a support in terms of consultancy, which vendor they could select, which vendors would suit their vision and their use cases, and how to implement them. If they have their own data scientists, that's fine. They can work with them. But we have our own dedicated data scientists and machine learning engineers team that helps you develop the solution flow. You take definitely from a zero AI user to a final, proper 100% using AI firm.
So it's an end-to-end approach.
End-to-end approach. This is what we have done, and we started very strong in East Africa, which is our home, whereby we selected all the telcos and financial institutions. We've partnered with them to take them from 0 to 100. So as you asked, how are we, empowering digital transformation? Is we try to make it more accessible. Because of the skills gap, we bring the skills coming from vendors such as Dell, HP, Cloudera, so the big US based as well. And they bring their validated designs we can now offer to the market. Apart from that, there's a lot of new things that are going in terms of microfinance, which is in terms of Watu, which is one of our biggest microfinancing arm, and Pay Relay, that we have been working with them, and they're offering devices as finance.
Okay.
So in Africa, it's very hard to spend $1,000 on a direct iPad or a laptop. But if the same thing you spend $50 a month, which is financed by such firms, the demand surge has just gone up.
So you can accelerate the access to technology.
See, in Africa, we suffer from two things, so we know. Technological gap and payments. Cash flow, we suffer from that. But if you look at the African mentality, we're able to spend everything shortly, but then the big chunk does not come out. So
the long-term goal is missing.
So we able to finance that using the short-term, financial options. And I think this is what is a different changing trend that will have a big effect in how operations work in Africa.
So when you mention your approach for AI, where you say, look, we already start to help them to decide for the right solution. So you help them to identify the real demand they actually have?
Yeah, so we help them to analyze, let's say we sit in terms of business processes. We help them analyze which business process will need, whether it's generative AI, which model you will need
Yeah.
as well, and which kind of infrastructure will be setting right. So some people want to go to hyperscalers, others need to go to on-prem.
Yeah.
Let's say one of our biggest telco providers, Safaricom in East Africa, where we had a sit-down discussion with them, and they always prefer on-prem. So we go in with the vendors, sit down, have a proper discussion, proper payment plan for them. So it's not only pay up front. We have a long-term payment plan for you. We're using the DFS services. So this is what kind of helps to aid the transformative journey in Africa, yes.
So you mentioned earlier that you work also with a wide range of vendors and clients. So could you share an example of a successful partnership story that captures your, let's say, approach to create long-term partnerships?
Definitely. So we have, as you correctly said, a range of vendors that we work across the region, and each vendor has one specific differentiator that we're able to map them with the customer. So I'll give you one specific use case. Dell and Safaricom. We are partners with Dell since 2008, so it's a long-term partnership, and we have almost most of the market share in Africa for Dell. In the region of East Africa, where we said Safaricom, our home, we are able to help them roll out with the 5G. So in Ethiopia, we did the whole 5G rollout for Safaricom, and we're the ones also managing this data centers over there. So apart from them, same kind of structure with the Equity Bank, Equity Group across East Africa, and across West Africa, we're servicing telcos such as MTN. So this is how, partnering with different vendors, we able to get to the customers, and it's a more localized approach rather than other distributors that look from, outside, offshore.
Yeah, understand. So operating in, let's say, across Africa, I think brings a lot of unique challenges, also opportunities at some point. So, but how do you address or how do you navigate through these strategic challenges on the continent?
In terms of Africa, we know there's an issue of currency, forex, whereby others see it as a challenge, we see it as an opportunity. Since we've been in this market for very long, and I'm not saying markets in terms of managed from other regions, in terms of UAE, we have in-country team that is with the day-to-day operations, so they know what to do and how to manage this kind of, I'll say threats or other difficulties, and that's what makes us different than our competition, whereby we're able to make more agile decisions. Well, if you see, we're across now 36 countries in Middle East Africa.
It's a big footprint.
Yeah, and in each of these 36 countries, we have manpower that make the decisions. That's towards a certain level, they are able to make that decision themselves. And
So you have a localized business model.
yes, localized business models. So it makes us very agile, which in Africa is very needed. Today in Nigeria, the forex is this rate. Tomorrow it's this rate. During the day, it's gone up and down. So we need, let's say, our local accountants teams that deal with the forex and moves it up, down, like that. But apart from that, legal challenges, all this with Africa, it comes and goes.
Okay, yeah, it's very interesting, I would say. So looking ahead, how do you see Mitsumi evolving in the next phase of its growth journey, and what role does leadership play in guiding innovation, regional strategics, and also partner engagement?
So in terms of our growth strategy, Mitsumi has changed from what they used to be as a traditional distributor to now a value-added distributor, whereby in each kind of vector or sector, we're trying to, promote our value in terms of technical advancement, skills development. We partner with a lot of vendors and have like end customer events or partner events where we actually train our partners of how this technology works, or we train the end customers on what they need to start moving and changing. So across the whole region, whereby other distributors or other competition will just aim to sell, we aim to generate that demand by training the partners, training the end customers why they need to change. And in terms of Mitsumi itself, we're increasing our digital capacities day in, day out, in terms of more data scientists, more software engineers, to make it a more digitalized kind of distributor rather than the same old box to box pushers that we say.
So it's all about partnerships, building trust and loyalty for your growth strategy.
I'll tell you one thing in Africa, trust is not cheap. Trust is something that comes after years and years of partnerships. If you'll see, I'll tell you one story. Go and look at our management, mid-level to senior, everyone above 15 years in the same company. In the same company, there's actually people that have come starting from Mitsumi and never discussed of another. So this is where, dealing in Africa, they said, whereby other distributors or competition have, high alteration ratio. In Africa, our alteration ratio is one of the lowest. So this is what helps when you make agile decisions, because a lot of this are based on trust. A lot of this based on vendor communication. So not only do we have trust in my team 100%, but also the vendors trust the team. So they know that whether the management is there or not there, the in-country team will, do their job, and they have that discussion with the vendor. So that promotes a long-term partnership.
Which makes it easier for you as well to approach public sectors.
Yeah, definitely. We had a meeting with the various ambassadors and they know Mitsumi from the long time days, from the days where we started in 1996. We started with actually repairing the computers. From that region, they will say, "Oh, I remember Mr. Jagat, Mr. Mitesh. I remember I came to your company and you used to fix the computers." So we've gone from that to now a distributor. So each of the country, they will know us from a long-term perspective. That makes the trust that, okay, this is Mitsumi, is done. This is how the relationship in Africa is, and that's what you're saying. The threats and the challenges that you faced, you differentiate yourself with the factor that we have been in this country for so long. We've been in the region so long. Our management has empowered the team to make the decisions to improve agility. The communication is there with the vendor, with the region, authorities. That makes a big difference in Africa.
No, I fully agree. Thanks for your time, the insightful conversation.
Yeah, thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. That was Tech Africa News from Chitex 2025. You can find more on techafricanews.com.